Alright, so in this short video, I will be sharing my thoughts on whether AEW or rather Tony Khan was right in allowing Matt Hardy to continue. So, if you guys don't know what happened at All Out, Matt Hardy suffered a horrendous and a scary fall during his match against Sammy Guevara. He got concussed in the match and the match had to be stopped. Later on, Matt Hardy did continue and did the final spot and he won and he looked okay. But he was not perfect, but he just looked okay. So Tony Khan in his post-match or post-pay-per-view conference said that Matt Hardy was okay and he had passed the concussion protocol and even said that he has not suffered any concussion, which I will just go on in depth in this video, and he will be going to the hospital for precautionary reasons. So the first thing here is that what is the concussion protocol in AEW, because how could a doctor clear a wrestler in about 15 minutes? That is the first question that rung in my head. As far as I have heard, a concussion protocol consists of some tests and there is a certain score that needs to be attained for the doctor to clear that wrestler.
I've actually learned a lot about concussions throughout this process, right? And so one of the things is that I met with one of the top neurologists that specializes in concussions in the United States. And one of the things is that they can check me after every match, but to make sure that I reach a baseline level of what my mental capacities are. And now they have a better understanding. So we have an impact test, which is what they have in a lot of sports, which is it's like a 15-minute test that measures your brain function, right? Well, now I have that test, which they can take right after concussion, but now I have even more extensive tests. I did a 2-hour neuropsychological exam. So now, for example, if they think that I have a concussion, they would have me first check with the doctor, then do the impact test, make sure that that's up to par with my previous impact test, then do another neuropsychological evaluation, which is like a 2-hour pencil and paper test. And so now they have all these ways to measure my brain function, because what they're kind of finding out with concussions is that it's not the amount of concussions you have, it's whether or not your brain heals after a concussion. So like if you get a concussion on Monday and then you hit your head again on Thursday and your brain hasn't healed, then that's a problem. But if your brain has healed and you just hit your head, it's not going to affect you too much. You know what I mean? So learning all of that kind of stuff about concussions has made me more confident in my ability to recover.
But in hindsight, I feel that the doctors from AEW might have taken some test to maybe just check whether Matt Hardy is okay or not. And if he is okay, then will he be able to do the final spot of the match directly? Because that is what exactly happened. The mid-match was completely cut off and you just saw the opening thing where Matt Hardy took the fall, and the closing thing where Matt Hardy punched Sammy Guevara and Guevara fell off. But Tony Khan said that Matt Hardy was not concussed, and this is complete BS according to me, because one, Matt Hardy was on the ground for almost a minute, which is never a good sign, and two, you could clearly see in the match itself that when Matt Hardy tried to grab Sammy Guevara, he couldn't drag him to the ring or wherever he was trying to drag him, and he was completely dizzy and he fell off literally. So this just happened similar to like the Undertaker versus Goldberg match, if you know what I am referring to. So if that's not a sign of concussion, then what is? And also on social media, Rebby Hardy posted that it was 1000% concussion, and then prior to that, Tony Khan again rephrased on Instagram that Matt Hardy was okay, he has not been concussed, and he will be appearing on Dynamite this week. So of course, a wife doesn't lie, at least when it comes to the health and safety of her husband. So what is even going on? Look, I'm not even criticizing AEW in any shape or form. Don't just get me wrong. I watched the pay-per-view entirely and I even made a review of it. It was a really fun pay-per-view. There were bits I liked and the bits I didn't like. Like this one. This was not good at all. As soon as Aubrey Edwards, the referee of the match, signaled the X sign, the match should have stopped there itself. Because even if Matt Hardy was cleared to do the final spot, you don't know what would have happened. If by chance he just fell off, or by chance he would have taken the bump, then what would have happened? Something even more dangerous than this would have happened. So my opinion is that Tony Khan shouldn't have continued the match, and that's it. The rematch would have taken place at any time in Dynamite, and this was not a match that everyone was looking forward to. This was just a feud, and it had to be ended at All Out. That's it. It could have ended on Dynamite as well. It's not a big deal. So, anyways, what happened is happened, and we cannot just undo what has happened. If you just like what I said in this video, then hit the like button if possible. Also, subscribe to Wrestling Scenarios for more stuff like this one, more wrestling stuff like this one. I honestly didn't like the Matt Hardy stuff. It shouldn't have happened to anyone. I mean, he clearly missed the table. I just don't want to talk about it more in depth. So there you go. That is my take on Matt Hardy and his injury.